Welcome back everyone to Pine Leaf Plays the Rune-keeper. We are back here in the Troll Shawls. And the plan is to head down back towards the river, then across into Eregion. It'll be our first trip to Eregion. So we just can't take a stable master there, since it'll be our first trip. So I am going to have to get across the river and lead my horse across, apparently. Now I'm looking for the same upslope where we ran into those wolfmen before. Because that is going to be where we go up, head towards Eregion. So I'll probably have to pass a couple of worms along the way. See if I can bypass them so we don't have to go and fight every worm in the area. Ah, here it is. I almost missed that. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about the wolfmen in this case. That's only for that specific quest we run to here. But this is, well, this is known as the Bridge of Hobbit Doom. For anyone who saw one of Sapience's Take the Hobbits to Isengard runs. Because normally they would go through this, and apparently during the early runs he either got thrown off one or two times or came perilously close to being thrown off on one of those points. And here we are in Eregion. Hey, now a new area, and that means I better bring up the quest that I need. Actually, no, it's already up there. Right. Defeat Gloomir and recover the rune shards. Right? No, is that the... Actually, I don't think that's the quest, is that? We want... Ah, there we go. Helktron's Eye. Right, alright. There we go. We don't need that. We want this. And Darter wishes bring him finds gathered from creatures of Eregion and the hide of a cold worm. Okay, we've got Helktron's hide. Alright. So we want to kill the horns here in Eregion. There has to be a quest that relates to them, so therefore we are going to go to the local camp first. Pick up a couple of quests there. Set a milestone, since we don't need the milestone in... Well, we'll keep the one in Gondaman. Alright. I'd already moved the one in Angmar to Eregion just in case something went wrong. But that one can easily be set back to here, since I don't really need one in Eregion. Hello there.
Stay a moment.
Greetings, Pinestone. I and my companions are recently come from Rivendell at the behest of Master Elrond. He fears that spies of the enemy may dog the footsteps of the company which left Imladris some little while ago, the company which bears a heavy burden, and commanded us to follow in the wake, lest some sign of their passing be left behind. To this end, many of my companions have gone forth to scout the lands. It is clear that Aragorn, son of Arathorn, journeys with the company still, for there has been little of note to see. They lit few fires for fear of the enemy, which is good. However, One of my scouts reports that he saw signs of an old campfire southeast of here. If you would, seek out the camp and learn if any other signs have been left behind which may reveal the composition of the company. The campsite lies far to the southeast, beyond Sad Rehu, nestled in the base of some boulders. Right? So new quest, scouring the path. And here we have our milestone.
Greetings, friend. Will you lend me your ear?
Greetings, Pinestone, and welcome to Gwynrith. As you can see, our outpost is running low on supplies. I am afraid that the next shipment from Rivendell is long overdue, and that without those supplies we will have a difficult time holding out against the forces of the enemy. Prior deliveries have met with trouble in the valley to the east, here and from the worms. If you could take the time to thin their numbers in the valley, our efforts to resupply will proceed more smoothly in the future. Very well, so we defeat worms. You didn't think that we were done with worms, did you? Nah.
Greetings, friend. Will you lend me your ear?
Well met, friend. No doubt you have heard of the White Hands, many spies in this land. A favorite spy of Saruman are the Crebain. Our scouts have reported a large number of Crebain along the northern edges of the valley, far to the east of Gwynrith. Find them, and rid our valley of these menaces before they discover discover something that should remain hidden. So we need to kill some birds. And back here.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
Our scouts report that a group of half-orcs have been sheltering worm eggs. This is troubling news, Pinestone. I can only imagine their ultimate purpose with the worm eggs. For now, though, let us deal with the immediate threat. The very presence of the half-orcs in the area speaks of these evil times. Journey to Eregion to the southeast and hunt down the servants of the White Hand. These half-orc abominations must be put to an end. Alright? Deed bestowed. The runes of Eregion. And in case you thought that was enough, there is another quest here. We might as well move that.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
Greetings, Pinestone. Have you of late seen the holly forest south of Gwynrith? Horns now walk about, attacking those who pass through the wood instead of remaining docile trees as they should. There is something amiss in this wood. Something has awakened the trees from the usual slumber that provokes them. The horns and holly tenders are proving too great of a threat close to our waypost. Gather your friends, Pinestone, and deal with this menace. Return to me when you are through, and perhaps you can learn what has stirred them. This is defeat folly fen tenders and defeat horns. And now it's labeled as a small fellowship quest. That is borderline. This quest is soloable, but you have to be careful in it. So they can be a little bit on the tricky side. Now, that said, my class quest requires me to get vines. And those vines are found on the horns. Actually, I think I can also I might be able to get them also from the tenders. So that's what I want to double check. Now I want to see how these things have rep on them. No, no rep on here. So I won't be doing any tasks while I'm in this area. Unless I need them for extra XP. So let us head out and find a few things. Right now, I will say that going after the vines would be the priority. Now, this will at least let us test the hypothesis on the tenders. Actually, if I do have any trouble with the horns, I could bring out Flax, because she should make just enough difference. New deed, Ring Lore of Eregion, which I guess you get when you kill your first creature. Okay, the tenders do drop vines. That's good to know. Actually, so I might not need to call out Flax, but just in case I run the trees. 43. Let me pump Flax up a level or two, just in case I do need to bring her out. We get a skirmish camp right here. We might as well take advantage of it. That would be for the skirmish trainer. Now let's see. Fill your cloaks, cosmetics, light armor, captain. That should be the trainer. Yes,
What
trainer.
do you need?
Alright, so we need to bring my archer up to about... Oh... Alright, we'll bring the archer up to rank 9. Which means showing 10 here. Since this is showing the next level we want. Good, and then personal. Very well, that should do. Yeah, there's still a couple of them that I could take in another training and all that stuff, but I can do that offline. But that should be enough to help if I get into a tight spot. But really, I don't think I really need her for any trees I fight, and of course I can take care of the tenders also. But if I want to complete the quest that requires me to kill horns, obviously I'll need to take care of the trees. So this is a grasping holly tender. This does not advance the one where you gotta kill fell holly tenders. It also apparently didn't have a vine to it. Now whether that means that the holly tenders are less likely to have vines, or that the grasping ones don't have vines, I don't know yet. We shall see. Now there is a sequel to this which involves going against the trolls, against the wood trolls, and while it's also technically soloable, those trolls can be a little bit tougher than the trees are, so more likely to be wanting a help of a soldier there. Especially sometimes because there's some areas where the trolls can get a little bit on the thick side. Individually, they're not too bad. It's when you start to have two of them next together, especially the elders, because the elders like to heal themselves, and they're a real pain. So usually when I do that quest solo, I just pick my way through them and choose care, which slows down the quest, which is why I don't normally finish that particular part of it. Especially since it leads to a boss troll, and I suspect the fact that it ends with a quest that really is for a group is the reason why they labeled the prequels as Small Fellowship, even though they're only borderline as Small Fellowship quests. I wonder if the trolls do drop. I don't. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. The insect. You don't want to be fighting one of those trolls when you're on something else. That's why I think they labeled it Small Fellowship, because one of them isn't too bad. It's when you get two of them, and occasionally they're thick together, that it can become tricky. Now, I'm just seeing if he drops a vine, since I'm not on the quest with these guys yet. You see here, it's doable. He does have a vine. How about that? As you see, that was a bit of a close fight there. So, not technically a Small Fellowship quest, but I think the fact that leads to it is because, as I said before, I was tired of the old way of doing things in the North Downs, where it will give you solo quest, solo quest, solo quest. Okay, we'll finish it off with a Fellowship quest, and this particular one, I think they really wanted to end it with this big boss fight Fellowship quest. So therefore, they decided to side with caution and make the prequel quests Small Fellowship ones, even though they were technically tough solos instead. So I think it was a good decision on their part for that particular one. And this tree, as you can see, can get a bit tough. He knocks you back. He might knock you back into an insect. You gotta worry about extra things at the same time. As I said, with caution, soloable, but not trivial. Definitely not trivial. Oh, that was actually a tough one. Yeah, definitely not trivial. There are times when I wish I had more than one heal, but it's tough to do much damage if you're in healing stance. At higher levels, I could worry about dip. Actually, maybe I could start seeing into starting a couple items into the healing line so that I can get my runestone. Let me make sure there isn't something that I really want that's left in my trait tree. Let's see where I'm at. Oh, no, that's not my trait tree. Here's my tree. I do have an extra point to spend. Because right now, I just took vivid imagery, which is one of those that I absolutely wanted to take. So I did take that, and I need to spend at least 12 points to get my runestone here, so it'll be a few levels before I can get that. And it's also, and mending verse, yes, mending verse only requires 2 points, so next level, or I should say level 49, which would be my next point unless I complete a deed before then. Oh, actually, that's the entire point of my class quest, is to get that. And of course, I also will be getting them from my pages. Oh, then we might as well have a little initiation here to kill my first dunlending. Now I don't have a quest yet, but ow. Alright, very well. So a new enemy that we haven't had in any of our previous parts of the series. But right now I am going to concentrate on those. There's the holly tender. Hello. I'm going to concentrate on the vines. Alright, well that takes care of the holly tenders. I still need 2 more vines. Well, I'll probably be needing a few more trees also. Right. Start with that up. Start with that up. Now we can. Alright, there we go. With a little prep, it's not too bad. It's when you get caught surprised by one of these things where it can be tougher, or if you forget to prep yourself. That's probably true with many of the opponents you face in this game. Proper preparation can get you through quite a bit. Now, hopefully this will finish up with our vines. Oh no, that's a grasping. So, might not finish up anything. No, he has a vine. Alright. Alright, very well. Now, we will be coming back here later, but for now, we will head over to Gondomin for our next phase. Then we will pop back over here, and that's why I have Gwynris as my other one, so I can pop back and forth between the 2 locations. And next time, we will turn in these items and get back to Eregion, where we will take care of our next session. But in the next part of Pineleaf Plays, the Rune-keeper.